Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bulldog Show. I'm Darrell Allen, along with Thomasville High School head football coach Jonathan DeLay. Dogs coming off a 66-20 win over the Berrien County Rebels on senior night out of the stadium. Coach, big win, good win for the Dogs.
Yeah, really good win for us. We started fast. One of the things I challenged the offense with was we want to make explosive plays, 15-yard runs, 20-yard passes. We had 48 plays in the game, and 12 of them were explosive. So 1 out of every 4 plays was an explosive, and that's big. And we had some seniors that really made some explosive plays Friday night.
All right, Coach, we had 565 total yards on offense, 328 through the air, 237 on the ground. We'll talk about some of those guys in just a minute, but let's give credit to the guys up front.
Oh, yeah, man. Offensive line played great the other night. Kept Cam pretty clean and, made lanes for us to run in. And, those 5 up there, Caleb and Palacios, Brandon, Elijah, and Zacharias, they did a really good job of getting folks out of the way so we could, take care of business.
All right, Cam Hill, 14 of 22, 328 yards and 4 touchdowns. Coach, talk about he had a record-setting night.
Yeah, he was tied with JT for the regular season touchdown record at 19 going in, and he broke that. So he's sitting at 23 right now. So that was a big night. And then, Nigel broke a record too.
Nigel did. Nigel had 4 receptions for 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had a kickoff return for a touchdown, but he set a touchdown receiving record.
Yep, receiving. He holds the single season, regular season receiving touchdowns record. He's actually tied for the full season record as well. And that was one of the things I told the kids today. Hey, we broke some records the other night. That's awesome. You want to do that. And the most important record that we want, or the most important number we want in that book, is that state championship column to have a 2025 in it.
I hear you. Levante Cole, 14 carries, 191 yards, 3 touchdowns. His third 100-yard-plus game of the season. Levante had a big night.
Yeah, he was running really fast.
He was.
And violent too. And he did a great job. I mean, 191 on 14 carries? That's a pretty good average right there.
Right.
And he had the slow screen too that he caught, and it got called back. But he had a really big night the other night, and guys up front did a really good job.
DJ Sawyer, 3 catches for 120 yards, a touchdown. He also had a 5-yard touchdown run.
Yeah. So I asked him, I said, "You ever carried the ball for a touchdown?" And he said yes, when he was younger, playing with the Legends. That was, he had a big night too, catching the ball for us from different spots. We had him down at tight end, had him out at receiver. So it was just a really, I thought we were really efficient offensively the other night. I know we had, the one possession where we had the turnover. But other than that, I thought, we had a really good night of running, throwing, screening, all the different phases of the game.
Caden Thomas, Coach, had 3 for 51 yards and a touchdown. He's such a good alternative to DJ and Nigel.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, when you look at it, I believe all 5 of them caught a ball. So Caden, he had a touchdown. Nigel had 2. DJ had a touchdown receiving and rushing. But then you had Jabari and Michael as well. They had catches as well, and Caden. So when we're really good, you're not sure where the ball's going if you're defending us, and that's what we were able to do the other night.
All right, Coach, over on defense, had so many dogs involved. Mm-hmm. Chase Williams with 10 tackles. Great to see him have a good night.
Chase had a really good night, 10 tackles. That was big for him. And linebacker's been one of those positions where we've kind of rolled guys in throughout the year, and he had a good night the other night.
Deuce Hill had 6 tackles and a big sack.
Yeah, and I think 5 of those 6 tackles were 5 straight plays there in the fourth quarter. And, yes, he had a huge sack right there to basically force them to turn the ball over on downs right after that. So he played really well the other night.
All right, Zay Clark, Tremaine Samuel with a sack, Carter Walker, Isaiah Jones with interception, because we could just keep going on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When you look at it, we made a ton of plays, and a lot of seniors made plays the other night. But, like, Carter's interception was one. It was a really good interception. They ran a really good route concept, and he was able to match it. And same thing with Isaiah's. He did a really good job undercutting the route and making a big play. And that was the thing. Defensively, I thought there was 2 plays the other night that, obviously they scored on those 2 plays, and they were big plays. And it was just little stuff where we got ourselves out of position, or we weren't pursuing, or we weren't doing exactly what we were supposed to be doing. And that's the message to the kids. We had a team meeting this morning. That's the message. Hey, the little things have to be cleaned up, because when you get in the playoffs, those little mistakes become magnified because the teams are really good.
Our coach over on special teams, we talked about Nigel's touchdown run, 67
Mm-hmm.
yards on the kickoff. Camden Christie, though, 9 for 9 on Pats, 39-yard field goal. Give him a total of 12 points for the night. But, boy, it takes so much to make all that happen.
Yeah, and it's it's Joe snapping it. Whether it's Five Ash holding it or Walker held the last one. There's those things have to be done, and then all those guys up there protecting and keeping them out. It's basically we're 9 for 9 PATs, 1 for 1 on a field goal. So we were 10 for 10 in that kicking operation, and that's not easy to do. That's something that sometimes people take for granted, and he did a really good job of that.
The good news, Coach, Friday night was we didn't have to showcase our really good punter. We didn't have to punt.
Yeah, we did. We faked a punt the other night, and McCarty made a really good play on that. But it was a big night stats wise and stuff, and also Thomasville, and this really isn't an offensive stat. This is everybody because the offense, defense, and special teams have all scored this year. But we broke the regular season scoring record. It's 439 now, and that's a testament to, like I said, all three phases of the game getting involved throughout the course of this year in scoring. The other night we had offense and special teams scoring touchdowns. So that was a big night, and it's exciting. But it's like I've told the kids, all these records that we've broken this year, that's great, and I'm super excited about it. There's more out there to be broken. And we want to break as many as possible on our way to a win in Game 15.
All right, Coach, let's jump into the highlights. Berrien County Rebels come to call senior night out of the stadium. It was a great honor all those seniors.
Definitely was. You couldn't ask for a better night. We started with a shot play right here to DeMario, to DJ, throwing it down there, and then got Vontae involved in the run game. Got a good carry right there. Again, right here gets us first down, first and goal. Believe we get them off sides, and then a little wrinkle. And we hand the ball to DJ, and Vontae did a really good job of cutting off that backside right there.
We've seen him on the wing, but haven't actually seen him in the backfield with the quarterback.
Yeah, that's just something a little bit new that we put in this past week, and kids executed it. And that's the thing with this team, we're able to run some of our base stuff out of different formations, and that's what makes us, very multiple. That's a really good play right there by Caden Walker, and then Christian Hayes right here is a really good break to come up, make that tackle, get them in fourth down, and make them punt the football. Unfortunately, we didn't get an opportunity to catch any of the punts the other night. Joe did field one that came up to him, but, again, puts us back to work on offense. Thought Cam did a really good job, especially on this one. They did a good job covering it. That was really the only ball that they gave us. We pick up the first down right here on third and short. And then again, it's right back to work. Get a little scramble right here on first down. That sets us up in second and manageable. And Vontae just goes ahead and takes this one to the house. Really good job by Joe Douglas getting around right there and fitting it. And Vontae hitting it tight. And you can see he ran out of the camera right there. He was running pretty fast.
He was running fast.
Yeah. But again, we make the extra point, 14-0. Go back, kick it off. First two kickoffs, we kicked out of bounds. Obviously Camden was frustrated with that, but then he did a really good job after those two of putting it in the right spot. And, he had one more that went out of bounds, but that one was just right on the edge. And then defensively, back to work. We challenged them. We got to play with better pad level. I thought we did. Junior with a really good play right there, him and Chris Hayes. And then force a punt right here. And this one's one of those, just takes a funny bounce, and Joe just happens to be right there, and he's able to pick it up and keep it from rolling. And again, we go back to work offensively, trying to use our tempo. Cam right here, I just missed one right there. Went over it today. It was a little fundamental issue, but then comes right back with the screen underneath to Michael Watts. It's a really good job by Cam drawing the defensive line to him, and then Mike getting down the field behind those linemen. And then right here, Caden gets lost. Cam does a good job with his eyes finding him. Really good protection right there. Make the extra points, 21-0.
And boy, Coach, when you're that wide open, that's a hard catch to
Yeah,
make.
that's just one you just got to get it. Just got to get it. And Caden did a really good job with it. They tried a trick play right here. Caden Walker with a great tackle for a loss because they kind of had us down the field right there. And then here he comes again, Caden Walker again, making another play out there on the edge. And this was Carter. That was a really, really good job matching that route. Really good job catching the football. And now back to work offensively right here. Again, some new wrinkles in our alignment. And then, back to one of our staples, a little guard tackle pull, and Vontae houses it right there. We do a good job downfield with our blocking down the field. And again, make the extra point. Now it's 28-0. And again, it's one of those nights where, 2 minutes left in the first quarter, it's 28-0. The one thing I want to see us do better is come out of halftime and step on the gas. Now, that was a really good tackle right there. Really good play by Carter. Starts with a great kick. Hang time placement. We get him tackled up at the 6-yard line. I mean, you can't hardly ask for much better right there. Chris Hayes right there with a really good job forcing that ball back into Joe and those guys. I think Nair might have been in on that one as well. Start the second quarter right here. And, they take a shot. They complete it. It's frustrating that we don't get him on the ground out of bounds and we're not pursuing when the ball goes in the air. Those are the little things that we're talking about. This is one of the two plays that, I really felt like they were the only two defensively that we gave up. But we go back to work. They were going to onside kick. We knew that all night. Connor Fiveash does a really good job getting on that ball. And then it's back to work. Cam to Jabari right there. Take what the defense gives us. Right here we do get sacked. Felt like we could have pushed over in the hole to the left a little bit, but we don't let that derail our drive. Next play, Cam pulls one, does a good job bouncing it, getting north, gets us in third and short. And snap it to Vontae, and this was perfectly executed as far as the blocking. We got him one-on-one with the safety, hits him with a stiff arm, and it's a touchdown.
Once Levante gets side of the end zone, Coach, it's pretty tough.
It is. And he, like I said, he had a little extra step the other night, and he was running pretty angry. And again, here's the kickoff team again. Carter gets down there, guy makes a miss, so probably thought he was seeing double because Caden comes in right behind him, makes the tackle. And then back to work defensively here. Really good tackle right there by Nair. Thought they had a little lane, and then we get pressure. Nair and Roosevelt get pressure right there, calls the errant throw. They have to punt it back to us, kind of keep it away from us right there. Nigel probably should have gotten out of the way and petered that a little sooner. But then we have to punt, call a little check with me, and Macari right here does a good job picking up the first down. And the very next play, Cam hits Nigel on a touchdown. This was the one that tied the record right here. Nigel did a really good job right there of splitting the defenders, getting north and scoring. Cam did a really good job putting that ball right on his chest. Good protection. And then again, another PAT. I think that one made it 42-7 right there. Another good kickoff. I thought one of those was going to hit short and start backing up because they were just letting it go. Junior, really good job right there on a little double move. And then big tackle for loss right there. And then again, getting some pressure, making it hard for the quarterback, forcing a 3-and-out, forcing them to punt again. They keep it over there near their sideline, but it's still, we've got it near the 50, and then Cam right here does a good job with the guy underneath him finding DeMario Sawyer. DJ did a really good job of running that route, stemming the defender out to make space to the inside. And Cam put that ball right in there where he's able to run under it. 49-7 Dogs. And again, this is the other one that went out of bounds. It was so close. I think it hit in before it bounced out. But again, it's about getting stops now. They gave us some different looks on this drive than what they had shown really on film or anywhere. And we did a good job deciphering it. We had a couple of spots right here. We had a missed tackle right there. But again, we're able to pursue, get him on the ground, make him snap it again. It makes some really good plays. It's a really good play right there by Deuce Hill. He doesn't make the tackle, but he makes it go back inside. Get a good twist right here, and Caden over there on the other side does a really good job. They called it incomplete. I thought we had an interception right there. And then again, pressuring the quarterback, getting after him. I believe this was 4th down, and we ran him out of bounds right there. Had a couple touchdowns called back before halftime. Those are things that need to be cleaned up. Get into the third quarter, get a touchback to start it. And then, we get out of position on on their touchdown run right here in just a second. We have two guys in the same gap, and that can't happen. And, again, things we got to fix on film. And after that, I felt like after that play, we did a good job when they came back to it. But, there's going to come a time in the playoffs where you don't have an opportunity to go back to it. You have to make the play you have to make when you have to make it. And we didn't on that play right there. And that's a good learning opportunity for us, because now every single game, every single play has its own identity and it matters. Really good job right there by Junior letting that ball go out of bounds. It was hot. It was moving that way. I didn't like the way we started coming out of halftime. We had a tackle for loss right there. We missed a shot right here down the field. Now, we get the slow screen right here and get the first down. That was nice, but then we have the turnover. And it's just, we give up a touchdown, we come out with a turnover. That's not the way you want to start, a second half. There's going to come a moment where we're going to have to, come out and make a statement in the second half. And now I did like that we eventually found a way to win the second half. This one right here, they released the tackle. That guy was covered, so he shouldn't be allowed to go down the field by his alignment, but they let him, and maybe that's why he dropped the football. Good job right here with our pressure. Again, getting some fourth down pressure, forcing the quarterback out of bounds and then putting us back to work on offense. Really good job right there by Cam and DJ seeing the hole. That was a little RPO, and DJ altered his route based on where the safety was, and Cam put it right in there. Guys being on the same page, which is what you want. And then right here again, Cam finding Nigel. Nigel doing a good job working back to this ball, making a good catch. And then this was the one that broke the record. We pitched that forward to Nigel, so that is a pass. And he dragged that guy about 6 yards in the end zone with him, had him hanging on his face mask. But again, snap, hold, kick right there. Really good job in that execution. And then again right here, we got the kickoff. We kick it over their head. And I thought it bounced back in and hit in the end zone before it came back. But back to work defensively. They get down in there in the red zone. Really good play right there by D. Florence. He made some good plays in the backfield, reading pullers and things like that. And then right there, Isaiah Jones undercutting that route. Really good pick. Backed up, back to work. Vontae gets it off the goal line right there with a really good run. And then Cam finding Caden on this RPO right here. It's a really good job of, running the route based on where the safety is. And then Vontae with a really good run right here. Caleb Humbert did a really good job on that one of being the puller instead of the guard. That's just those guys communicating with each other. And then we get into the fourth quarter. I wanted to finish that drive. It was fourth down going into the fourth quarter. We get the first down. We get some good positive yards here on first down, have a couple of incompletions. But, it's one of those moments, and I told Cam before the third down play, I said, look, we've got a field goal right here, so just make sure that this ball's either a completion or it's incomplete because we have the field goal, and Camden comes in, and he struck that one out.
He did. That's his longest field goal of the year.
Yep, and that was a really good kick. Daniel Mateo comes in on that next kickoff, and we do a good job getting it tackled up. Again, there's D. Florence again with a tackle for a loss. Got some guys subbed in the game here. Played some guys that contribute, but don't necessarily get a lot of playing time in on anything but special teams. So getting them some opportunity to go with some starters out there still as well, but just making sure we're developing that depth and building that as we go into the playoffs. So really good job right there on first and goal at the 2, getting it tackled up. And then right here, we just got to run our feet on contact. Raekwon did a really good job identifying that there was an open window right there. We just got to make sure that we get him on the ground. Nigel right here bounces right to him. He was coached all week. You get it, get back towards the middle, end up hitting on the far left hash. And again, he ran through some tackles right there and made a really good play. And that play allowed us to win the second half.
All right, so Dogs, 66-20 winners. Coach finished the year at 7-3. So we're done with the regular season now, done with the region part of the schedule. Now we move on to the playoffs.
Yeah, real season starts now.
Right.
You know, that's what I told the kids this morning. Everything you've been working for. You know, we really started last year into November, early December. That's how long we've been working on this. You know, working out in December, gut check in March. You know, spring install after spring break, spring practice, summer practice, fall camp, non-region schedule, region schedule. All those moments have led us to right here. Now it's about, can we put 5 1-0s together in this tournament, one per week? And, you know, as far as seeding goes, to be real honest with you, we just need to get in the dance. I love that we're playing at home in this first round, and yeah, if we'd have done this, we'd have done that, ifs, whatever. Okay, you're in the dance. You got to win 5 games. Whoever wins this state championship has to win 5 games, and at some point, you got to play other teams. And we get to play Putnam in 2 weeks, and we're going to put all of our eggs in that basket of doing everything we possibly can to go and be 1-0 at the end of that ball game.
Yeah, Coach, it's kind of easy for fans to think, let's look down the road. That doesn't matter. Only one thing matters right now, because we don't go 1-0 next week, we're done.
That's it. You know what's crazy is everything that you work for in football, in high school football, it's going to depend on basically a 3-hour window on a Friday night, whether or not you get the next week.
Right.
And, you know, we're sitting here on Monday, and we don't play. It's Monday, November 3rd, and we don't play till Friday, November 14th. And now everything you do from here to the November 14th, you know, it's all working for that small window of time that allows you to get another week. And that's the crazy part about it, but that's the fun part about it.
And the thing about playoffs, Coach, talking about working, you got to work with a sense of urgency now.
Oh yeah. That's, you know, you can't look anywhere else but at the opponent that you're playing.
Right.
And you know, we're going to spend this week. You know, tomorrow for us is going to be a Thomasville focus practice where we're going to do a lot of good on good stuff. And then Wednesday and Thursday of this week, we're going to have some Thomasville focus good on good, but we're going to go ahead and get started on Putnam with some scout team work, so we see their base looks offensively and defensively before we move into next week.
All right, we do have a little bit of history of Putnam County. Played them in 1999 in the first round of the playoffs.
Okay.
Dogs got a 14-6 win there, but that's the only time we've seen them. So that's November the 14th, Friday night week, 8 o'clock kickoff out at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Coach, ticket information will be coming out soon.
Yeah, it'll be put out on all of our social media platforms and things like that. It'll be out there. Coach Rayburn's working on that over the next couple of days, working on getting the contract and all that. But we need a packed house. Something about Putnam, they actually they've only been on the road 3 times this year, and the last time they were on the road was the night we played Jeff Davis. So we need a packed Veterans Memorial Stadium that's loud and make this the 12th man atmosphere that it should be and that it's supposed to be.
All right, and so the Dogs, everybody, the whole state open this week. No high school football.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Can you? I mean, what are we going to do on Friday night? Because, you know, sometimes on Friday night when, you know, you're open. Like a couple weeks ago, I watched Brantley and Berrien play on the NFHS.
Yeah.
And I guess there's some, you know, our private school leagues in Georgia are playing.
Right.
But that's so weird, you know, that everybody in GHSA is open. I don't know. I don't know that it's ever been done like that before.
I don't know. I know they tried last year to have open week after Thanksgiving. Didn't work out because of the storms.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe there'll be some college ball on or something. We'll have to watch something.
I'm sure. So November the 14th, 8 o'clock out at the stadium. Putnam County comes to call. No game to talk about next week, Coach, but you and I'll be back with a special edition of the Bulldog Show, and we'll certainly preview Putnam County and get ready for the playoffs.
Definitely.
All right, so I want to thank everybody for tuning in. For Coach Jonathan Lace, Darrell Allen, good day, everybody.